Hare Krishna. So we'll start our class with prayers. Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prashtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swamin Iti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So we have been going through the introduction part of Bhagavad Gita. So we'll continue from our last session. Okay. So probably we'll complete the introduction part today and start with the chapter 1. Only few pages are there in the introduction. So far we have seen the different things described in the introduction part. Ishvara, Jiva, Kala, Karma, Prakriti, the 5 subject matters which are discussed in the Bhagavad Gita. Prabhupada has briefly explained these things in the introduction part. So we'll continue from where we have left in the last class. We work not with our body actually, but with our mind and intelligence. So if the intelligence and the mind are always engaged in the thought of the Supreme Lord, then naturally the senses are also engaged in his service. Superficially at least, the activities of the senses remain the same, but the consciousness is changed. The Bhagavad Gita teaches one how to absorb the mind and intelligence in the thought of the Lord. Such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. If the mind is engaged in Krishna's service, then the senses are automatically engaged in his service. This is the art, and this is also the secret of Bhagavad Gita. Total absorption in the thought of Sri Krishna. So here Prabhupada is mentioning that we work with our mind and intelligence. So mind and intelligence is subtle body, and whatever subtle body we make a decision, then automatically the gross body works accordingly. So if the mind and intelligence are always engaged in the thought of Krishna, then naturally our body also engages in his service. Prabhupada also says that superficially our external activities remain the same, but consciousness changes. So this is something important we should note. Just like in the case of Arjuna also, before reading Bhagavad Gita and after reading Bhagavad Gita, he remained a warrior. He did not change his position. He remained as he is. He continued to fight, but the change was in the consciousness. So superficially, externally, still he was fighting, still he was shooting arrows, but the consciousness is changed. So earlier his consciousness, he was thinking about how can I kill my friends, relatives. But later on his consciousness changed. So he was doing it as a service to Krishna. So even when we are following Krishna consciousness, any common man, if he takes up Krishna consciousness, his external activities will remain same. He will be going to the office, he will be doing his business. Somebody is doing household activities, housewives, taking care of the home children. So external activities will remain same, but the consciousness will change. So the mind will become more and more absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. And accordingly, our activities, there will be some things which we will give up, which are unwanted, and some things which we'll adopt, which will help us to become more Krishna conscious, just like chanting of the Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, simple worship at the home, offering of the food and eating prasadam. These are the some things which will change and which will help us in becoming more and more Krishna consciousness. But by and large, these activities are maybe around, say, 4 hours maximum in a day. So the remaining out of 24 hours, we sleep for a few hours. So at least some 8 to 10, 12 hours, our activities almost remain the same what we were doing before, but our consciousness is changed. And our mind becomes more and more absorbed in thoughts of Krishna even when we are working. And such absorption will enable one to transfer himself to the kingdom of the Lord. So Prabhupada is mentioning here. So if our mind and intelligence is absorbed in Krishna, then such absorption of our mind will enable us to transfer ourselves when we quit this body to the kingdom of Krishna. And Prabhupada is mentioning that this is an art. And this is also the secret of Bhagavad Gita, total absorption in the thought of Krishna. So this is the art which we have to learn, how to continue to engage in our activities, at the same time absorb our mind in Krishna. And this is also the secret of Bhagavad Gita. Modern man has struggled very hard to reach the moon, but he has not tried very hard to elevate himself spiritually. If one has 50 years of life ahead of him, he should engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It's a very important instruction. So we don't know how much lifetime we have got, but considering that a person lives for 70, 80 years, and if we are at 30, 40 or whatever age if we are at, so we have got some number of years in our age left according to general calculations. We don't know when the life may end, but whatever time is left, if we can engage that brief time in cultivating this practice of remembering the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna, this practice is the devotional process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam. So this is the Bhakti Yoga process of Shravanam Kirtanam Vishnu Smaranam Pada Sevanam Archanam Vandanam Dasyam Sakhyam Atmanivedanam. So Prabhupada is recommending that we should become Bhakti Yogis. And as in other yoga process, Ashtanga yoga has got 8 different limbs or angas, Yam, Niyam, Asana, Pranayam. So like that, Bhakti Yoga has got 9 different ways with which we can perform devotional service. So it need not be always progressive. We can engage in any of them independently also. Just like Shravanam, hearing about Krishna. So what we are doing now is Shravanam and Kirtanam. So we are talking about Krishna and we are hearing about Krishna. And if these two things are done nicely, Prabhupada says that automatically the third thing, Smaranam, will become automatic. If you are always hearing about Krishna and talking about Krishna, then automatically we'll be able to remember about Krishna. So ultimately our goal is to always remember Krishna. And for that, the easy process is, if you always hear about Krishna and talk about Krishna, naturally the remembrance of Krishna will come. And serving the lotus feet of the Lord, worshipping the deity of the Lord, offering prayers, vandanam, dasyam, engaging in different service, Krishna service, and sakhyam atma nivedanam, considering Krishna as friend and surrendering everything to Krishna. So these are the different ways by which we can absorb our mind in Krishna. These 9 processes, of which the easiest is Shravanam, hearing Bhagavad Gita from the realized person, will turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. So the easiest of all these 9 is hearing about Krishna. It doesn't require much endeavor, much effort. No education is required. Just one has to listen from a realized person. So we are listening Bhagavad Gita, what Prabhupada has written. So we are reading also means actually we are hearing Prabhupada. So book reading is also means we are hearing from Prabhupada. What he has dictated, that is made into books. And when we read these books, we are actually hearing Srila Prabhupada. We are directly associating with Srila Prabhupada, the realized, the self-realized person. Then what will happen? That will turn one to the thought of the Supreme Being. By reading Srila Prabhupada's books, by hearing Srila Prabhupada's books, our thought will be automatically turned toward Krishna. This will lead to Nischala, remembering the Supreme Lord, and will enable one, upon leaving the body, to attain a spiritual body, which is just fit for association with the Supreme Lord. So, Nischala, remembering without deviation. We have to come to the point of remembering Krishna without deviation. So this constant hearing about Krishna will bring us to that point of always remembering Krishna. And that constant remembrance of Krishna will enable us to get a spiritual body once we leave this material body. And if we have to associate with Krishna personally, then we should have a suitable body, the spiritual body. Just like Krishna's body, we should also get a spiritual body. Then we can personally, physically associate with Krishna, just like the uh, inhabitants of Vrindavan. They were personally associating with Krishna. So they had a suitable body, they had a spiritual body to associate with Krishna. We can also get that kind of body if we develop this Nischala remembrance or constant remembrance of Krishna. And that is possible, made possible by always hearing about Krishna from a self-realized soul. So that is reading Srila Prabhupada's books, hearing Srila Prabhupada's lecture. That is a process to always remember Krishna. And also, if you engage in service, the service of a pure devotee, then we get the mercy of the pure devotee. Then the process becomes even faster. It is mentioned somewhere else also that by engaging in the service of the pure devotees, one gets the mercy of Krishna and the spiritual master both. And by that mercy, one can make very quick spiritual progress. The Lord further says, Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina paramam purusham divyam yati parthanu chintayan. By practicing this remembering without being deviated. So Abhyasa yoga yuktena chetasa na anyagamina. So the mind should not be deviated for any topic other than Krishna. It has to be practiced. Abhyasa yoga yuktena. Paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayan. Thinking ever of the Supreme Godhead, one is sure to achieve the planet of the Divine, the Supreme Personality, O son of Kunti. Paramam purusham divyam yati partha anuchintayan. So this constant remembrance of Krishna, one can get to his planet. This is not a very difficult process. However, one must learn it from an experienced person, from one who is already in that practice. So Prabhupada is telling that it is not a very difficult process. The process is easy, but the condition is that one must learn it from an experienced person, from one who is already in that practice, someone who is self-realized. From that person, if we learn it, then the process becomes very easy. On our own, it may be very difficult. But if you learn it from an experienced, self-realized person, this becomes a very easy process. The mind is always flying to this and that, but one must always practice concentrating the mind on the form of the Supreme Lord, Sri Krishna, or on the sound of his name. So, right now, even though we are having a material body, and in this body we cannot personally associate with Krishna, and Krishna is also not physically present in front of us, because Krishna has already left this planet. About 5,000 years ago, he was there. Even when he was there, not that everybody was personally associating with him, but his name is always present. Even if Krishna is left and gone now to the spiritual abode, his name is always there. And one can associate with Krishna through his name also. So here Prabhupada is mentioning, one must always practice concentrating the mind on the form of the Supreme Lord. So even though Krishna has left and gone, his form is available. The deity form is available, how Krishna looks. The beautiful deities are there, nicely decorated. So we can concentrate our mind on the form of Krishna, the deity form, or the sound of his name. So this is the process of associating with Krishna in the conditioned state. And once liberated, the same association continues. Associating with the name of Krishna, form of Krishna, pastimes of Krishna, devotees of Krishna. Actually, these are our how we can get in touch with Krishna. Even in our conditioned state and even in the liberated state also, the same association continues. But in the liberated state, once one develops love for Krishna, he can always see Krishna within his heart also. Premanjana Churita Bhakti Vilochanena Santa Sadaiva Vilokayanti. So the saintly devotees, those who have developed love for Krishna, they always see Krishna within their heart. But those who are even not liberated also, they can still associate with Krishna through his form, through his name, through his pastimes in the form of Srimad Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita. So when we are reading Bhagavad Gita, we are hearing Krishna. What Krishna has told, same thing we are hearing. So if we develop this understanding and be in that consciousness, then we can directly associate with Krishna. And when we are chanting his name, so we are calling Krishna. So that way we can directly associate with Krishna. And when we are worshipping the form of the Lord, seeing the form of the Lord, that time also we can directly associate with Krishna. So that way, our mind, which is always flying here and there, can be absorbed in thoughts of Krishna. The mind is naturally restless, going hither and thither, but it can rest in the sound vibration of Krishna. So this also Prabhupada says in different places, that mind can rest only in the lotus feet of Krishna or in the sound vibration of the name of Krishna. Prabhupada tells in another place this thing, that the mind can rest only in the lotus feet of Krishna or in the sound vibration of Krishna. So our mind is going here and there. Mind can be hooked. It can stay in one place only at the lotus feet of Krishna or in the name of Krishna. One must thus meditate on Paramam Purusham, the Supreme Person, and thus attain him. The ways and the means for ultimate realization, ultimate attainment are stated in the Bhagavad Gita. And the doors of this knowledge are open for everyone. So the Bhagavad Gita, the ways and means of self-realization, ultimate attainment, everything is given. And this is open for everyone. It is not a sectarian book only for Hindus or only for Brahmins. So Bhagavad Gita is not a sectarian book. The doors of this knowledge are open for everyone. No one is barred. All classes of men can approach the Lord by thinking of him. For hearing and thinking of him is possible for everyone. So not that only Hindus can think of Krishna, only Brahmanas can think of Krishna, or only sannyasis can think of Krishna. No, anybody, a child can also think of Krishna. Woman can also think of Krishna. Old man can also think of Krishna. Indian, American, African, anybody can think of Krishna. It is possible for everyone. There is no bars for anybody. The Lord further says, Mam hi partha vyapashritya episyu papayonah स्त्रियो वैश्यास्तथा शूद्रास् तेऽपि यान्ति परां गतिम् किं पुनर्ब्राह्मणा पुण्या भक्ता राजर्षयस्तथा अनित्यम् असुखं लोकम् इमं प्राप्य भजस्व माम्. O son of Pratha, anyone who will take shelter in me, whether a woman or a merchant or one born in a low family, can yet approach the supreme destination. How much greater then are the Brahmanas, the righteous, the devotees, and saintly kings? In this miserable world, these are fixed in devotional service to the Lord. So, here Krishna has told all category of people, they can take shelter of him and they can attain the perfection. Human beings, even in the lower statuses of life, a merchant, a woman, or a laborer, can attain the supreme. One does not need highly developed intelligence. The point is that anyone who accepts the principles of Bhakti Yoga and accepts the Supreme Lord as the summum bonum of life, as the highest target, the ultimate goal, can approach the Lord in the spiritual sky. If one adopts the principles enunciated in Bhagavad Gita, he can make his life perfect and make a perfect solution to all the problems of life which arise out of the transcendent nature of material existence. This is the sum and substance of the entire Bhagavad Gita. So all the problems of life are because we are in a temporary world. This material world is called Ashashvatam. Because this world is temporary, we face all kinds of problems. All our problems, the root cause is we are in a temporary atmosphere. Everything is constantly changing here. Nothing is permanent. Today something is there, but tomorrow again it is changed. Our body is changed, our health is changed, our wealth is changed, our knowledge, intelligence, memory, everything is constantly changing. And this constant change is the cause of all problems. And Bhagavad Gita gives us the direction how we can attain to the eternal place, unchanging world, where everything is eternal and permanent. And one has to adopt the principles of Bhakti Yoga and make Krishna as the ultimate goal of life, the highest target. And such a person can reach Krishna into the spiritual sky. So this is the sum and substance of entire Bhagavad Gita. So adopting the principles of Bhagavad Gita, making Krishna as the ultimate goal of life. Then it doesn't matter whether one is a woman or a laborer or a merchant or a brahmana or a rishi or a king. It doesn't matter who he is. If he follows these principles, he can enter into the kingdom of God. In conclusion, Bhagavad Gita is a transcendental literature which one should read very carefully. It is capable of saving one from all fear. So one should read the Bhagavad Gita very carefully, and it is capable of saving one from all kinds of fear. That is described here in the Bhagavad Gita. Neha bhikramanashasti pratyavayo na vidyate. Salpamapi asya dharmasya trayate mahato bhayat. So trayate mahato bhayat. So it can save one from the greatest type of danger. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. If one reads Bhagavad Gita sincerely and seriously, then all of the reactions of his past misdeeds will not react upon him. So all our sinful reactions, they will also not act upon us if we are seriously and sincerely reading Bhagavad Gita. So all our sinful reactions, they get destroyed. And here, Neha Vikramanashasti, Pratyavayo na vidyate. So there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So this Prabhupada explains that dangerous type of fear, most dangerous type of fear for the living entity is to go into the lower forms of life, other than human forms, aquatics or reptiles or animals or birds, um, or trees. So these are lower forms of life, non-human forms of life. And if the soul goes into these non-human forms of life, it takes a lot of time to again come back to the human form of life and then understand Krishna and go back to the spiritual world. So if some person gets into the cycle of this 84 lakh species, goes to the lower species, then he has to be in that species one after the other gradually, so many lifetimes, then he comes to the human form of life. So for a living entity, most dangerous type of fear is to get a lower form of life. And if somebody performs even a little devotional service, Swalpamapi asya dharmasya, then the guarantee is that he will get a human form of life next, even if he could not complete. So even if somebody is not able to perfect his life, a human life is guaranteed. But Prabhupada always said that don't wait for another lifetime. You have to finish this business in this life only. But accidentally, even if one is not able to complete, he is guaranteed a human form of life and he will continue from where he has left in his next life. He will not go into the lower species of life. In the last portion of Bhagavad Gita, Lord Sri Krishna proclaims, Sarva dharman parityajya mam ekam charanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami ma shuchaha. Give up all varieties of religiousness and just surrender unto me. And in return, I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. Thus the Lord takes all responsibility for one who surrenders unto him, and he indemnifies all the reactions of sin. So this is the conclusive statements of Bhagavad Gita that Krishna tells in the last chapter. Sarva dharman parityajya, give up all types of religion, all varieties of religion, and just surrender unto me. Mam ekam sharanam vraja. And in turn, what is the promise of Krishna? That I shall protect you from all sinful reactions. Therefore, you have nothing to fear. So Krishna is taking the full responsibility of those who surrender to him. And those who do not surrender, so they are driven by the reactions of their work, how they have acted in their past life. The Kala will unfold whatever good or bad they have done. So accordingly, they will keep getting the results. So they are dependent on their fruitive activities for their happiness or miseries in this life. But those who surrender to Krishna, Krishna is telling that I will take complete responsibility of those who surrender to me, and I will relieve them from all the sinful reaction. Sarva papebhyo mokshayishyami. One cleanses himself daily by taking a bath in water, but one who takes his bath only once in the sacred Ganges water of the Bhagavad Gita cleanses away all the dirt of material life. So how we cleanse ourselves every day? By taking bath. So if a person reads Bhagavad Gita from the right source only once also, then he cleanses all the dirt of his material life. Because Bhagavad Gita is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one need not read any other Vedic literature. So there is no need of studying different other Vedic literatures. There are so many other Vedic literatures like four Vedas, very vast, and the language is also difficult, and we cannot understand what is written there. And mostly it is of rituals: do this, don't do this. It is like that. And then there are Upanishads, which are philosophical, very difficult to understand. Um, and Vedanta is there. So many other Puranas are there. But this Bhagavad Gita, the speciality of Bhagavad Gita is that this Bhagavad Gita is spoken by Krishna himself. Therefore, there is no need of reading any other literature other than Bhagavad Gita. One need only attentively and regularly hear and read Bhagavad Gita. So regularly and attentively, one should read and hear Bhagavad Gita. In the present age, mankind is so absorbed with mundane activities that it is not possible to read all of the Vedic literature. And practically, it is not possible also. Who is having the time to read so many Puranas, so many Vedic literature, so many Upanishads? Who is having the time? Nobody is having the time. But this is not necessary. This one book, Bhagavad Gita, will suffice because it is the essence of all Vedic literatures and because it is spoken by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Because it is spoken by Krishna directly and it is also the essence of all Vedic literatures, there is no need of reading any other literature. This one book is sufficient. It is said that one who drinks the water of the Ganges certainly gets salvation. But what to speak of one who drinks the waters of Bhagavad Gita? Gita is the very nectar of Mahabharata spoken by Vishnu himself, or Lord Krishna is the original Vishnu. It is the nectar emanating from the mouth of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the Ganges is said to be emanating from the lotus feet of the Lord. Of course, there is no difference between the mouth and the feet of the Supreme Lord. But in our position, we can appreciate that the Bhagavad Gita is even more important than the Ganges. So what is Ganga Nadi? What is Ganges River? So it is a water which is washed the lotus feet of Krishna. When Krishna had taken the Vamana Avatara, when he extended his steps to cover the entire universe, in the universe, he made one hole by his toe. Then the water from the causal ocean that came through that hole washed the feet of Vamanadev, and that is flowing as a Ganga river throughout the universe in all planetary systems. Ganga is flowing in all planets. So on Earth, there was no Ganga many thousands of years ago. And Bhagirata, he brought this Ganga from heavenly planets to earthly planets. So that way, this Ganga is flowing throughout the universes. And the Ganga is sanctified, worshipable because it is a water washed, the water which is washed, the lotus feet of Krishna. And what is Bhagavad Gita? It is spoken from the mouth of Krishna. So it is same as Ganga. As Ganga is purifying, the Bhagavad Gita is also purifying because it is coming from the mouth of Krishna. And for Krishna, there is no difference between his feet and his mouth. He is absolute. But in our conditioned state, we consider feet as inferior and face as a superior. So that way, we can say that Bhagavad Gita is even more important than Ganga. So one who every day drinks the Ganges water or takes bath in Ganges water, he is sure to attain liberation. Similarly, one who every day reads Bhagavad Gita, he is also sure to get liberation. The Bhagavad Gita is just like a cow, and Lord Krishna, who is a cowherd boy, is milking this cow. This milk is the essence of the Vedas, and Arjuna is just like a calf. The wise men, the great sages, and pure devotees are to drink the nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. So this is a nice comparison given of a cow, a calf, and the milk, and the milkman. Four things are there. Cow is there, calf is there, milk is there, and the milkman is there. So the calf is like Arjuna, and the milk is this Bhagavad Gita, and the milkman who is milking the cow, he is the Supreme Lord Krishna himself. So Krishna is milking this Bhagavad Gita, and his instructions are in the form of this milk, which is drunk by Arjuna, who is like a calf. And those who are wise men, those who are sages, those who are pure devotees, they will also drink this nectarian milk of Bhagavad Gita. In this present day, man is very eager to have one scripture, one God, one religion, and one occupation. So let there be one common scripture for the whole world, Bhagavad Gita. And let there be one God only for the whole world, Sri Krishna. And one mantra only, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. And let there be one work only, the service of the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So these are, I think, the words of Shankaracharya. The last two paragraphs what we read, in the Gita Mahatmya, these things come. Just like Gita is like a cow and Arjuna is a calf and Krishna is milking the cow. And this also Ekam Shastram Devaki Putra Gitam. Let there be only one literature, which is the song sung by Devaki Putra Krishna. Let there be only one mantra. Let there be only work that is the supreme, that is service of the Supreme Lord. So here we complete the introduction part of Bhagavad Gita. And after this, there is a disciplic succession. As Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita, Evam Parampara Praptam Evam Rajarshoya Viduhu. So this knowledge was received in Parampara, and the saintly kings understood it in this way. And Prabhupada has given here the list of acharyas in the disciplic succession, beginning from Lord Krishna himself down to Srila Prabhupada. 32 acharyas are mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita. So whenever we are speaking about Bhagavad Gita to anybody, we should try to make them understand that Bhagavad Gita has to be received in an authorized channel as given in the Bhagavad Gita itself. And we saw in the introduction when we were reading, Prabhupada gave an example of the medicine, that how medicine has to be taken. It has to be taken as per the instructions on the label or as per the physician, what he gives the instruction. So Bhagavad Gita, how it has to be accepted, the instructions are given in the Bhagavad Gita itself, that it has to be received in the parampara system, evam parampara praptam. And Krishna tells that he is coming and telling this again because the parampara was lost. So if anybody hears Bhagavad Gita, which is not authorized, not in the disciplic succession, the example is like how Prabhupada's spiritual master told that they are licking the honey bottle from outside without opening the jar. They'll never get the taste of Bhagavad Gita. Only when we receive it in this disciplic succession, we can get the real understanding of Bhagavad Gita and the true benefit of reading Bhagavad Gita, that is going back to the spiritual world. This is the list of acharyas, the disciplic succession, from Krishna to Brahma, Brahma to Narada, Narada to Vyasa, Vyasa to Madhvacharya, then Padmanabha, then Narahari, then Madhava, then Akshobhya, then Jayatirtha, then Jnana Sindhu, Dayanidhi, Vidyanidhi, Rajendra, Jayadharma, Purushottama, Brahmanyatirtha, Vyasatirtha, Lakshmipati, then Madhavendra Puri, Ishwara Puri. This is the Madhva Sampradaya. From here begins the Gaudiya Vaishnavacharyas from Madhavendra Puri. And Ishwara Puri, Nityananda Prabhu, Advaita Prabhu, then Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who is Krishna himself, then Rupa Goswami, and his contemporaries are Sanatana Goswami and Swarupa Damodar, then Raghunatha Goswami and Jiva Goswami, and Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, then Narottama Das Thakur, then Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur, and Baldev Vidhyabhushan and Jagannath Das Babaji, contemporaries, then Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and today is the disappearance day of Gaur Kishore Das Babaji Maharaj, and after that, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur, and then our spiritual master, His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami, Srila Prabhupada. So this is the disciplic succession. So we are in the safe boat of crossing this ocean of material existence. If we just follow the instructions of Prabhupada given in his books, and as he has taught, then we are sure to attain the lotus feet of Krishna, even within this life only. And then go back to the spiritual world, our eternal home. So it's 9:25. So probably we'll stop our session here. And next session, we'll start with the chapter 1. Shloka by shloka, we'll go through this Bhagavad Gita. So if there are any questions, we can take up questions, or we can also do a quick revision of what we understood today. Okay, can somebody tell some points, what all we understood today? You can unmute yourself and you can speak. If you have any questions also, you may ask. There were some very important things in the last
Hare
paragraph.
Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna, Mataji.
Prabhuji, I wanted to ask that today is my first class, as I am completely new to Bhakti, and
Okay.
I'm not sure what to do, how to do, and how to do seva. And I actually live in hostel, and I'm in a BTech first year. So could you please guide me, if possible, to how to start and what to start?
Okay. See, the first thing what you have to do is every day chant this Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. You can get this chanting beads, 108 beads will be there in a mala that you can get, and you can make a practice of everyday chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra. Just like we discussed in today's class, that we have to always remember Krishna. Then we'll be able to go back to the spiritual world. And this chanting is the easiest way to remember Krishna. So as we chant, we should try to, with concentration, with our attention, hear the names of Krishna, the sound what we produce, that we should try to hear. That way our mind should get absorbed in Krishna's name. And this is the first thing we should do, everyday chanting. Minimum is 1 round we can do. And if we have got more time, and as we start practicing more, we can increase the number of rounds. From one, you can do 2 rounds or 4 rounds, like that. You can go and increase. And second thing is, you can attend these classes regularly if you are part of the group. So here you will get a lot of knowledge on Bhagavad Gita. And if you are part of the group, we also conduct many other classes, also other book reading sessions, and we also send a lot of other classes of many senior devotees who take in the temple and Prabhupada's lectures, all those things. You can be part of this group and keep listening to this. And you can begin with chanting. And further, Krishna will guide you how to make further progress. The first thing you have to do is you have to start chanting this Hare Krishna Mahamantra and read Prabhupada's books. So whatever we are doing is a book reading sessions that you can do. If you want, you can also purchase these books and you can read. If you need the books, you can visit our website. Their books are available. Or you can contact us in the group also. We have got different books on different subjects. All are based on Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. So the Shravanam is the first step of Bhakti Yoga, hearing about Krishna. And that happens through this chanting. We are chanting and hearing Krishna's name, and reading is also hearing about Krishna. And as you make more progress, you will get further guidance what to do next.
Okay, Prabhu.
Yes. Harimani Prabhu, you have some question?
Yeah, Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yes,
So
Mataji.
regarding one clarification, we are chanting regularly, but means never came to this reading part and all those things. For
Okay.
past many years we are chanting. Now,
Okay.
Prabhuji, I just want to know, like, do we have any references, like when we chant first, we chant Prabhupada Pranam mantra, then Panch Tattva mantra and Om Agyantimir, that mantra also. So do we have any reference where I can find word to word meaning and exact meaning of those mantras? And
Yes, we have a book called Handbook of Krishna Consciousness. So there is a small book called Handbook of Krishna Consciousness. We will send this soft copy in the group. Okay. So in that you will get all the shlokas which you can practice every day with meanings, and also how you can practice Krishna consciousness at home. That also is mentioned there. So if you just follow that, you can take up practices gradually one by one. Most important thing is this chanting and also reading Prabhupada's books. And as you make more progress, you can take up other different practices also, what we practice. All those things are there in the book. Handbook of Krishna Consciousness. It's a very small book, and PDF version of that is available. We will send it in the group. And you can go through that. In all the mantras, their meanings and the standard prayers, what we chant. Some Vaishnava songs are there. What is Ekadashi, just like today is Ekadashi. That is also there. And if you want to offer food at home, how to offer food at home, that details are also there. And Ashtottara is there. Krishna's 108 names are there. And different Brahma Samhita prayers are there. So gradually you can read that book and understand more details. You will come to know when you read that book. That book will make sure that we will post it in our groups.
Okay, thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Okay, so what all we understood today? What is the secret of Bhagavad Gita? What is the art of Bhagavad Gita? I have shared my screen also. It is there here. Somebody can recollect and tell it.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji.
Yes, Mataji.
Complete absorption in thoughts of Krishna is the art and some of this Bhagavad Gita, what Srila Prabhupada has said us.
Yes. So we don't have to change our external duties, whatever we are doing, but only our consciousness has to change. So for that, we have to follow a process of Bhakti Yoga. And one more thing we saw here, that whatever time is left in our life now, that time, whatever number of years we have got, that we should try to utilize for developing Krishna consciousness. And that is possible by this simple process of Bhakti Yoga, Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam. Okay. Any other points somebody would like to add?
Gita is the essence of all Vedas, Prabhuji.
Yes,
Where we
yes.
can-
Just this one book is sufficient. No need to go after so many Puranas, so many Upanishads, different Vedas. All the essence is given in Bhagavad Gita. Are there any restrictions? Who can practice or who can read this Bhagavad Gita? Who can practice Bhakti?
No, Prabhuji, even anybody can practice.
Anybody can practice. No restrictions. It is open to everybody. Okay. What is the greatest type of fear?
Back to the lower forms of.
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna. Yeah. Getting a lower form of life, where all this access to the Vedic knowledge will not be there. No animals, no birds have access to this Vedic knowledge. Only human beings have got this access to the Vedic knowledge. And only through this Vedic knowledge we can understand who am I, who is God, what is our relationship with God, how to go back to God. All this information and the process of going back, everything is available in the Vedic literature, especially Bhakti Yoga process and Bhagavad Gita, Srimad Bhagavatam. And only human beings have got access to this. That's why if we go to other forms of life, it is very, very dangerous that again, so many millions of lifetimes we have to wait to come back to this human form of life. And then again, we can understand these things. That's why it's considered as a very, very fearful situation for the soul to get a lower form of life. Okay. So we discussed about Ganga and Bhagavad Gita also. So what was the comparison between Ganga and Bhagavad Gita? What is Ganga water? What is Bhagavad Gita?
Ganga water is coming by washing the lotus feet of Lord Shri Krishna, and Bhagavad Gita has come from the lotus mouth of Shri Krishna.
Yes. Yes. Okay. And one more thing we discussed, that where the mind can rest.
The sound vibration of Krishna.
Yes. Either in the lotus feet of Krishna or on the sound vibration of the name of Krishna. Otherwise, mind is very flickering, always jumping from one thought to another thought. But it can rest, become peaceful only in the sound vibration of holy names of Krishna or at the lotus feet of Krishna. Okay, so we will end our session here for today. So in the next class, we'll start from Bhagavad Gita, chapter 1, shloka number 1. Thank you all. Thank you all for joining. Vishwa Guru Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Hare
Hare
Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare
Hare Krishna
Krishna.
Prabhu.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna,
Hare
Prabhuji. Thank you so much.
Sorry Prabhuji, I
Hare
had to
Krishna.
join very ತುಂಬಾ ಲೇಟು. ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಇದೆಯಾ ಪ್ರಭು?
ರೆಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಕಳಿಸ್ತೇವೆ.
Thank you so much, Hare Krishna.